You are now listening to Sports Talk 916 with Greg Bull and Coach Greg Baroza.
If you'd like to participate in the show and listen live, there's a number of ways to do it. You can go to the Mixlr app, or you can follow us on Facebook Live every Sunday. You can also go on the wildfireradio.com website and listen to us Tuesdays at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific. And if you want to contact us, head over to our website at sportstalk916.com. There you'll find all of our social media feeds, bonus after-hours content that you won't hear anywhere else.
I said I was starting. You said 9:30. What's up? Episode 253 is in the books. No, we're starting. Rosa just walked in. We're ready to get going.
Good son duty to do.
It's football day, dude. Are you excited?
You keep rearranging shit in here, too.
I don't rearrange anything.
It's football day, dude.
That's right. I'm so tired of these headphones.
I know. I'm going to bring mine, too.
Or the headphone connectors. It's this thing. The box. It sucks.
Yeah, because I sound like I'm in a wind tunnel.
So what's up, Sports Talk World?
Hey, can we turn... What's his mine? This one?
What do you need?
It's way too echoey.
Hold on, I can't hear a damn thing. I'll tell you in a second.
Well, you got to plug it in first.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Let's start with this.
Hello. Well, now it does. Before it didn't. It sounded like I was in a wind tunnel.
Old ears, folks.
Oh, man.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. I had to do a little bit of good son duty before I got over here. So, but everything's cool. Busy week this week. Look at you at the stand-up desk. Busy week this week. A lot of work on the condo. This just isn't working for me.
Yeah, it's we need.
There we
If
go.
anyone wants to donate a new
Where can we get one?
Amazon, Fry's, Guitar Center.
All right. What is? Let me know. I'll go get one.
All right, big baller.
I got money in the bank.
I got money in the bank.
Right. How about you? How was your week?
Did
you do anything interesting?
Yeah. So surgery on Wednesday.
That's right.
Been in bed for basically 3 days.
And then you get out and you do a Spartan workout.
Oh, I didn't do the workout. I was just
you
out
did?
there hanging out
Okay.
with Total Nutrition, slinging some supplements and helping people that were doing the workout be hydrated and recover properly. So, yeah, definitely no workout for me on that day.
So you were the water boy is basically what you were.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bobby Buffet. But no, it was a good time. So, yeah. So if you ever have to have hernia surgery, don't. I was expecting like a laparoscopic insertion, little.
No.
Shit's 3.5 inches long.
If we were better friends, I'd show you my scar from my hernia operation, but I'm not going to. We're not that good friends.
I'd rather not.
All right.
But 3.5 inches, right above the boy.
Well, mine's to the side.
Yeah, well, to the upper side of the boy. It sucks. Anyways,
Tune into Sports Talk. Listen about hernia operations.
Right. So, with that being said, it is football day, and there's a lot going on. And games start in 38 minutes, which basically means we have to rush through the show because we're going to lose listeners like crazy right when 10 o'clock hits.
Right. Do we need to do it a different time?
No, we just need to be on time.
Oh, well, shit. I haven't done that yet.
All right. Well, we're going to start planning for 8:30 then, so you're here by 9. How about that?
Okay.
A lot going on this week. A lot of football stuff leading up to this week, which was interesting because normally it's kind of dry. So let's start with I think the biggest story. We talked about Khalil Mack last week going to Chicago. He's starting. He'll be playing against Green Bay tonight.
Right.
Which we joked about it. It's easy for him. You just get to Aaron Rodgers. That's your job.
Mongo get quarterback.
Right. So the big news this week is Le'Veon Bell did not report to camp. He does not sign his. He did not sign his franchise tenure.
Nope.
Which means he is not eligible for week 1. He'll lose out on 800 and something grand for this game.
Yep.
And of course, fantasy people are pissed.
Yes, I am.
Especially someone that may have took him in the first round.
Yes, with the second pick.
With the second overall pick.
Pretty much every draft I was in, whoever had the second pick is pissed today.
By the way, I'm drinking unicorn piss today.
Unicorn piss?
It's unicorn flavor.
Dang.
Rainbow unicorn.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an energy drink with like a bunch of workout supplements and whatnot in it. Oh, that is sweet. But anyway, so Le'Veon Bell not starting. Is it Justin Connor?
John Connor.
Yeah, John Connor. Connor will be the starting running back. If
Yep.
you were quick to jump on the waiver wire and grab him, good job. I know in our league, the Pittsburgh Feelers got him. Danny got him because he had Le'Veon Bell, and he was texting me all week freaking out. And I was like, dude, I'll trade you for him. I'll take Bell. I mean, I may not get him till week 11, but I'll take him.
Yeah.
I offered him a couple running backs for him, and he didn't take it because he thinks I was bullshitting him that he wasn't going to play. And lo and behold, he's not going to play. And
I don't know that he's going to play for multiple weeks.
Maurice Jones-Drew was on NFL Network the other night and suggested that he holds out till week 11.
Well, he's got to sign by week 11 in order for him to be able to
be a free agent
next year.
Right.
If not, if he holds out the whole season, he goes through the same thing again next year.
He could be franchise tagged again because it's not considered a year of use or a year of experience or whatever, however they the terminology. Which leads a lot of
year of service.
There it is. Which leads a lot of people to start questioning, should teams throw trade offers at Pittsburgh to see if they can get him going? And Niner fans, especially with Jerick McKinnon going down, have been all over social media. Oh, we need to go get him. And in retrospect, it sounds like a great idea, right? You're getting Le'Veon Bell. But the problem is, in order for you to trade for Le'Veon Bell, and I want Niner fans to pay close attention to this because hopefully it'll stop all the social media bullshit. In order to trade for Le'Veon Bell, he has to agree to sign his franchise tenure, which makes him a franchise tagged player for the 2018 season. You then have to convince the Steelers that you're giving them a good enough package to get Le'Veon Bell. It's going to include multiple first-round picks.
At least two first-round picks.
Probably a third and maybe even a player to get Le'Veon Bell due to his talent level, which some fans may look at that as he's the best running back in the league or second best running back in the league. You take the flyer on him. You make that trade, right? Here's what a lot of fans don't know or don't care to realize because they live in perfect bubble world. Le'Veon Bell would be franchise tagged. By trading for him, you are not allowed to negotiate a long-term deal with Le'Veon Bell this season, which means you can't get him under the agreement that he's going to sign long-term here. A lot of times you make a trade for a player who's on an expiring deal because then you automatically negotiate a long-term deal and you're like, oh, we maybe gave up 3 first-round picks, hence the Bears and Khalil Mack. You give up 2 firsts, a third, and a fifth, but then
you
second. Immediately assign him to a 6-year deal.
And get a second.
And you get a second. The Niners, if they were to make that trade, couldn't do that. Le'Veon Bell would be a rental, and with no guarantee that he'd be willing to re-sign here, you'd be giving up your future in order to have 16 weeks, assuming he stays healthy.
Not even 16 weeks. By the time he gets in here, it's going to be 14 weeks.
Plus getting ready.
You're going to have him for 12, 13 weeks. And it does sound good. God, I'd love to have him in the backfield. But it just doesn't make sense. He's gonna play with the Steelers. There's nobody that's going to be able to trade for him because you're gonna have to give up too much, and it's not worth it. It would be like trading, I don't know. I couldn't think of a baseball analogy, but you just can't give that much up for somebody that you're not.
It would be like the Giants trading Crawford, Panic, and Bumgarner to the Nationals for Bryce Harper, but not being able to negotiate a long-term deal with him before he becomes a free agent.
Right, exactly.
And you wouldn't do that. You don't leverage your entire future for one guy. If you're confident in trying to get him, then next year you throw a boatload of money at him and you lock him up because that's what he wants. He wants a long-term deal. So you lock up Le'Veon Bell.
I mean, he'd be a good fit. And next year in the free agent market, I hope the 49ers make a big play at him, but they just can't try to trade for him right now.
Can't.
There's just no guarantee. I mean, he's already proved that he doesn't want to. Well, he wants to negotiate, and he just doesn't want to play by the rules that everybody else has to play. So he's gonna sit home and cry. He can't make any more money. The only reason for him to hold out now, which is probably what he's doing, is to save his body, because he's going to report to the Steelers, and the Steelers are going to go, "We're done with you. We're going to run the shit out of you.
Right.
We're gonna burn your ass up, and we don't care because you're not going to play for us next year." So that's where they're at now. Is do they, does he show up and play and risk having 300 carries in 10 games, or do they, does he sit out for 11 games, come in and play the last 5 or 6, and go from there?
And that depends on if Connor can carry the load and get the Steelers into the playoff picture for him to even want to come back. He's not gonna. I mean, he'll come back like you said, but it may be worth it for him if they're not in the playoff picture. Sit out this entire year, come back next year, get franchise tagged again, because by all accounts, every year the franchise tag goes up. He's in line.
But he doesn't want that kind of money.
Right. But what I'm saying is, if let's say he wants to prove a point and he wants to sit out this year because he's not healthy or whatever it is, and the Steelers are terrible, then maybe this year he sits out. He doesn't do the 11 games at the end of the year, especially if they're out of the. Let's say they're out of the playoff race, and he needs to come back so that he gets his year of service in, so he could be a free agent. And they're at 11 games, they're 2-9, right? Let's just say they're terrible. Roethlisberger goes down,
right?
And they're out of it completely. It may be beneficial for him. I mean, it may not be the smartest money-wise, but it may be beneficial for him just to go, you know what, this year's a wash. I'll just do this again next year. I'll sign the franchise tag, and I'll demand a trade or whatever it might be at the end of next year, because I'm not going to come back and let them run me into the ground before I become a free agent and potentially risk it. Because right now they're at 14.5 or whatever it is for the franchise tag. Next year it's probably going to be 16 or 17 million. I mean, yeah, he's going to lose $800,000 a game this year.
Well, he's going to lose $14 million.
But he's already made so much in his career. I think he'll still get it on the back end, especially if he gets a year off. He gets a year to rest.
Yeah.
You have Le'Veon Bell's legs 1 year fresher.
Here's the thing you got to throw in there, though. And, I'm sure you're going to bring this up, but listen to what the
70 carries a game.
I know, right?
Returns.
Listen to what the Steelers locker room has been saying all week. They
want nothing to do with them.
They want nothing to do with him. And if he comes back, he can probably work his way back into their good favor.
Right.
If he sits out the whole year and they suck and they don't have a running back, what's it going to be like when he shows up next year? And
your cousin got married.
I know, I saw that. He bought his wife a car.
Yeah.
Pretty good car.
Yeah, pretty cool.
But if he sits out this year and he shows up and he doesn't show up to training camp next year and he pulls the same shit and just shows up for game 1, those offensive linemen are already pissed off at him.
Yeah, let's not piss off the guys that protect your life.
Right. And so he's got to come in. He's got to come in and either next week or the week after. And he's going to have to come in, and he's not going to do it because he's not this kind of guy, but he's going to come back and he's going to have to kiss some asses. And he's going to have to get back on their good side, or it's going to be, a Mexican bullfight with Matador offensive linemen coming down into a 3-point stance going, okay, he's going to take the ball around
And
the
we're just
right
gonna
side,
fall. I have a cramp.
and
Oh,
I'm just going to let you go and just make sure you don't kill him.
James is absolutely right. He's not going to sit out this year, but it's fun to think hypotheticals because obviously 14 million is not a big deal to him, right?
No.
Or 800 grand a game is not a big deal to him. So why not lose all of it? Real quick, Jeff Jones is done. We're international right now. He's in the UK.
Nice.
I saw one of his posts this morning about fantasy football, and I told him we'd give him our opinion. So he's in a little bit of a conundrum right now. He has Connor, who we talked about, filling in for Le'Veon Bell,
All right.
who goes in the early game. He has Juju Smith-Schuster, who also is in that same early game. And he has Woods, who is going up against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. He needs to figure out who to play.
So Schuster, Woods, and who's the third one? Connor.
Let me see if I can pull up his post real quick so I can get
So,
all the intangibles of it.
I guess it's for a flex player, right? Must be for a flex player.
Here's the way he worded his post here. He says, fantasy football, tough spot. I have 2 roster spots open and 3 players to put in. Connor, Woods, Schuster. So the way I explained it to him, and I want to get your opinion on it as well, is, and his thing was, Schuster's opposite of Brown. Well, that's the selling point on Juju Smith-Schuster's because the Browns are going to do everything they can to try to shut down Antonio Brown. Schuster's going to be the number 2 option essentially for Ben Roethlisberger. So that right there, I think, has the edge over Woods. Now, the flip side of that is Woods is going up against
the Raiders
secondary, which isn't good.
Right.
And unfortunately for Woods, he's probably the 4th option down there in LA. You have Cooks, you have Cup, you have there's one other guy in front of him that I just drew a blank. Who else did I say? Let's just say those 2. That puts him at the 3rd option, minus the tight end, and Gurley getting all the touches down there with the Rams as well. It's a little bit risky, in my opinion, even though the Raiders secondary is a little bit on the weaker side, to wait until the late game on Monday night to get production out of that 3rd roster spot.
Well, go ahead.
My prediction or my suggestion would be on this. So it's a flex and a wide receiver. I would go Connor in the flex, and I would go Juju Smith-Schuster in the wide receiver spot.
I would go Connor in the flex and Woods in the wide receiver because apparently the weather in Cleveland supposedly is horrible. Lots of wind, lots of rain.
I didn't see that. So
yeah, so you have to take the weather into account too. And by all accounts, Connor's going to carry the load. Well, he's going to carry the load. He's the number 1 running back, and it's going to be a mutter game. It's going to be a lot of running, I think. Now, the first reports that I heard this morning was wind is going to be nasty. Later on, I heard that the wind isn't going to be so bad. I would probably play Woods because I don't like the Raiders secondary at all. And their pass rush got a little bit worse last week. I think the Raiders defense is going to be horrible. They were 23rd with Mac last year. They're going to be the 30th ranked defense this year. They're going to be like the Niners were a couple of years ago. Remember when every running back that they had ran for 120 yards? I think I picked up some guy from Tampa Bay on a whim the week they play, and he ran for 180 yards against the Niners. And I can see the Raiders defense being that bad. I would go with Connor and Woods.
So I'm reading I didn't see the weather report, so I agree with you on that front. So Jeff, if you're still on, definitely go with. I would go with not going with the passing game in Cleveland. It's according to this, has something to do with the tropical storm Gordon that's impacting the Ohio area. There's going to be rain throughout the day, and then wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour out of the southeast. So it's going to be nasty. The Northeast is beginning hammered with weather all week, so the fields are going to be gross. And like you just said, the weather looks to be getting worse. I would definitely not go Juju Smith-Schuster, which reminds me.
So he's
on a few of my rosters as well, so I'm going to go make some changes while we sit here.
I know, and I got a problem too, is I have Roethlisberger and I have Patrick Mahomes as my 2 quarterbacks in one league. So I'm thinking I'm gonna take Roethlisberger out. I took him out earlier, then put him back in. I think
So,
I'm taking him back out.
I'm going to go Connor Cup over
Oh, yeah.
Smith-Schuster.
Cooper
Cooper
Kupp.
Cup, I'm sorry. Over Smith-Schuster tonight in our main league. And in Sports Talk 2, I don't think I have to worry. We'll have Josh Gordon. So Josh Gordon's going on the bench for, I guess, Doxson because I have no other wide receivers. And we don't run a flex in that league. That's fucking stupid.
Who set up that league?
I don't know. Me, apparently.
Dumb shit.
And in the third league, Sports Talk 3, I am good. Except the fact that I fucking played Matt Ryan, who shit the bed for me on the first game. But yeah, if you have any other fantasy questions, like I said on the live video earlier, we're by no means fantasy experts, but we're more than likely to give our opinion. And maybe our opinion is the same as yours or different from yours, and it helps breed some thoughts. But definitely willing to do so. So let's do this real quick.
We play a lot of fantasy football.
We play a lot of fantasy.
A lot of fantasy football. We suck at it, but
All right. Coolest story of the week, hands down. And it's not something that I typically like to do. And that's give credit to the Seattle Seahawks. But the coolest story out of the NFL this week is coming out of Seattle. Shaquan Griffin.
yes.
He was, as you know, you probably saw the stories all through the draft. We were both high on him in the draft, hoping that the Niners would take a run at him at the linebacker spot. He was drafted in the 5th round out of UCF. He was born without a hand on his left
No.
Or he lost his hand young.
He lost his hand at like 5 or 6 years old.
On his left hand, continued to play football. He helped UCF run a perfect record last season. He was drafted, I believe, in the 5th or 6th round by Seattle as basically as like a feel-good story, in my opinion. It was like
and I think it was kind of a favor to his brother, who's
also
a
on the Seahawks. Well, it was announced yesterday that Shaquan Griffin did enough in camp and in the preseason. He will be the starting linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks today, which, hey, look at that, right as Robert joins, who's a Seahawks fan. I think that is probably the NFL not only feel-good story, but like story to watch to see how he performs in a live speed game, because that's a super cool story. I hope that they don't do well because, you know, it's the Seahawks, but hopefully he has a big game.
See, I don't think, I mean, it's a great feel-good story. I'm not surprised, though.
No.
This dude is a beast. I think he ran the fastest 40 in the combine, or the fastest linebacker.
Well, he's lighter than everybody else.
The fastest linebacker 40 in the combo. Put up 10 or 15 reps at 225.
So let me ask: Did they give him like a socket to put on the bar, or did he just?
Yeah, no, he had a thing that he could hold on the bar. Yeah, no, it wasn't one-handed.
Yeah.
Now that would be a story. I expected this. I mean, he's just that kind of guy that is gonna just good things are gonna happen to him because he's a good guy and he works his ass off. And I hate saying that about a Seahawk, but they're gonna suck, so it really doesn't matter. I really wish the Niners would have taken him. That's one of the players that I really wanted, but they didn't, and that's that.
Right, exactly. Let's see here.
Swamp Ducks.
What?
James has great nicknames for the Seahawks.
Swamp Ducks. That's
Swamp
a good
Ducks. I like that one. Sea Pigeons.
No, I've heard the Sea Pigeons or the Sea Chickens. Let's see. What do you think of opening night? What do you think of Thursday night football this week?
It was horrible.
What a shitbag game that was.
I mean, I saw about 30 seconds of it, so I didn't really watch it.
Let me reach out to Matt Ryan because obviously he doesn't have a game today, so I'm sure he's online listening. You have other wide receivers on your roster, Matt Ryan, quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons. Julio Jones is not your only player. It's not Madden. You don't have to throw the ball to the same guy every single time. I get it. He's amazing talent. He's one of the best wide receivers in the league. But here's a newsflash. Defenses in the NFL and defensive coordinators know that. It's not a surprise that
is that why there were two guys on him every time they got in the red zone?
Every time they had the ball until they forgot to cover him. you have guys like Mohamed Sanu, who is very good. And you have this rookie that came out of Alabama named Calvin Ridley.
Kind of good.
Who's really good. And there's guys like myself who at the last minute decided to start Calvin Ridley because I knew that defensive coordinators were going to double team Julio Jones. And Ridley had 2 targets. Neither one of them were caught. And he got a big 0 in my league. So
I started Jones.
hey, Matt Ryan, yeah, next time throw the ball to someone else. You might win a game because here's the deal. For 2 times now in Philly, the last 2 times you've been there, you had 4th and goal with time expiring, and you threw to a double-covered Julio Jones, and it didn't work.
So again, let me go back to a Niner analogy.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Fades from Kaepernick to I don't even remember who he threw it to. Crabtree, yeah.
Or Sherman, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. I think it goes back to the offensive coordinator, and I forget. I know it's a name. TJ, who's our offensive coordinator?
It's a big name.
It is. It's a really big name, and he's
Sarkisian.
It is Sarkisian.
Yes, beat TJ.
There you go.
Because he's probably looking how to spell it.
So, you can't. He made the same mistakes last year, and yes, you need to use Jones. He's your go-to guy. He should be the one that's getting the bulk of the throws, but you got to run plays where if he catches it, he's going to end in bounds. They're just it's
Right.
It was a poor offensively called game. Sarkisian screwed up. He did the same thing last year, and it reminds me of exactly what the Niners went through against the Seahawks and the Ravens with throwing nothing but fades to Crabtree and them not working. It's the same thing. And the same result. Shitty games, and they lost.
Yep. It's ridiculous. And fantasy football, I mean, it doesn't matter. I have a feeling that my 0 from Calvin Ridley will be erased by other players this weekend because it's week 1. Everyone likes to play big on week 1.
Yeah.
So I'm not overly concerned about it. But it's just something that bugs me. It's like, throw the ball to someone else. Everyone in that stadium knew you're going to throw the ball to Julio Jones. Throw it to your tight end. Cooper's got really good hands, or is it Cooper? Whatever their tight end is. He's got good hands. Devontae Freeman
is a great running back.
He can come out of the backfield.
Coleman.
Matt Ryan's not slow. Run a naked boot. Everyone knows you're going to throw the ball to Julio. Everyone's going to shift toward Julio Jones. Run the boot. See what you can do. We're idiots, and we could see that. Okay? So something tells you.
Where was I? I was driving somewhere, and I was listening to the game on the radio. And in a game like that, the best person to listen to is Boomer Esiason. And he gets pissed. He was like, this is bullshit. He didn't say this, but he wanted to say, this is bullshit. You got all these guys. And then I think they took Freeman out Freeman had a drive, or Coleman had a drive. I don't know, Freeman or Coleman, carried the bulk of the carries all the way down to about the 4, and then they took him out.
Yep.
And Boomer was like, I can't believe this is ridiculous. And he just went off, and it was hilarious to listen him go off. So
you mentioned Tevin Coleman a few times now. There's been a few rumors that Kyle Shanahan is starting to kick the tires on trying to maybe come up with an idea on how to get Tevin Coleman out of Atlanta and San Francisco.
That would be awesome. I love Tevin Coleman.
Love that. So we have some exclusive audio. Bruce Bochy was asked about Sarkisian.
I say he's an idiot.
On that play calling. It was
Nice.
weird that Matt Mayoko asked him about that, but
Yeah.
Hey, whatever. Real quick, game of the week. What do you think is going to be the game of the week in the NFL week 1?
Oh, Bears, Packers, without a doubt.
Now, is that going to be an overall game of the week, or is that just going to be interesting to see what Khalil Mack
No,
does?
it's going to be the game of the week because I hate to say this. I hope Sammy's not listening. I think Bears are going to be a lot better than they were last year.
Without a doubt.
I think Travinsky's going to play really well this year. and the Packers are the Packers. And so I think that's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to watching that game.
So, do you think that is more intriguing than the Garoppolo Cousins marquee, like everyone loves them quarterback matchup?
Yeah, because you're not very high on the Vikings. You don't think the
I'm
Vikings?
not.
I think the Vikings are going to be good, and I don't think this is going to be that close of a game. I think the Vikings are going to win this pretty easily.
Changing my pick, by the way.
Really?
The Green Bay game, considering the weather that's
Uh.
killing the Northeast right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Bears actually have a better ground game and the pass rush. If Mac's able to run wild on Rodgers, who's not going to be able to do much with the weather, then I think Mac eats up the running game. Ty Montgomery, who's a former wide receiver, is not going to be able to eat up that Bears defense. I'm switching my pick from the Packers to the Bears in that game.
Are you?
I'm
not.
I think you had the Bears.
Did I? If I do, I'm changing it.
You're changing back to the Packers?
Yeah.
Upset of the week. Where do you think the upset of the week comes from?
Let me look at the game.
Because I think I'm going to change another pick. I'm going to go out on a limb, especially with the weather the way it is. And I've never thought I would say this in my life, but I think the defense on this team that I'm switching my pick to, as well as their running game, is going to benefit them over the better team. And that is the defense of the Cleveland Browns, along with the running game of Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. I'm going to give the Browns the edge over the Steelers this morning. And that's going to be my upset of the week. It's going to be the Browns breaking that losing streak and upsetting the Steelers. I think there's been too much of a distraction with Le'Veon Bell. I think the offensive line and the players on that Steelers team have been just overwhelmed with questions and, giving
all the Bell
statements.
bullshit going on.
That's what I'm saying. With all the Bell stuff going on, I think that it's a distraction. And then you account for the weather. I think the Browns are going to be hungry. I'm going upset of the week is going to be Cleveland over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's a really good pick. Cleveland's going to be decent this year. I can't say they're going to be good. They're going to be decent. I think they're going to end up right around 8-8. I can see that. My upset of the week is a little bit more of a out on the limb pick, and I am so high on Houston this year.
Yeah,
I am really high.
Houston over New England, huh?
Houston over New England. I'm calling it right now. I even picked that last week. So yeah, I think that's going to be the upset. I just think that, it's hard to pick against the Belichick's. He just knows how to scheme for every situation. I just don't think they're deep enough at running back. And it's going to be a rain game. So I kind of give the edge to the running game of Houston. I give the edge to the defensive line of Houston. I think that, and Brady's gone through a bunch of stuff too. I mean, he's already talking about wanting to have more confidence in his receivers this year, and they have to step up.
And you don't have one of your receivers with was it Edelman that's suspended?
Yeah.
James says the Vikings defensive line will stop San Francisco today. And I think that's going to be the big thing, is going to be, can the Niners offensive line stop that defensive line? Because that's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
I think Garoppolo is going to be fine. I think Garoppolo has the mobility to get away from that pass rush and make plays. My big concern is the running game. Can that running game produce against that defensive line in Minnesota?
I don't think so.
And that's going to be the big. That's going to be the big thing. Does Solomon Thomas or Eric Armstead break out of this bubble that they've been in and have a good game to stop the running game of Cook and Latavius Murray in Minnesota? There's a lot of things that's going to make that game really intriguing, and then it also comes down to the quarterback play. Are these guys both worth the money that they were given in the offseason? These were the two quarterbacks that everyone had their eyes on. Literally, the NFL free agency for quarterbacks didn't start until Kirk Cousins made his decision.
Right.
And then all the pieces fell. Garoppolo, he signed that big deal in the offseason. Obviously, the Niners and everyone is very high on him. I was at a restaurant last night and they had a black Jimmy G jersey at the front entrance. God, that jersey's so nice. I may go pick.
By the
pick
way,
one
the
today.
best news of the week:
They're not
the
wearing
best-
black jerseys.
the black jerseys are gone.
I may
Thank
go get
God.
one. I like them.
Ugh, I hate them.
I may go pick one up right after the show. Actually, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on right now,
So-
and I think this week of NFL football is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, I do too. I'm going to go back to something that we always say. We've been saying it for a long time. The key to the Niners season and the key to this game is going to rest on one unit within the game, period. And that's the 49er offensive line. They're going to make or break this game. If they can protect Garoppolo and he has time to throw, the upgraded receivers, the upgraded running backs. I'm glad we got rid of Carlos Hyde. He was useless. He's not going to do anything in Cleveland.
I think Carlos Hyde today, like I said, has the big game. I
don't think so.
But then again, that would fit the Carlos Hyde mold.
Right.
Have a big game and then disappear for 3 weeks.
Or think he's going to have a big game and not do shit. So
there's that too.
So I think the offensive line is going to be the key. If they can protect Garoppolo, he has time to throw, then the 49ers can move the ball. If they can't, and Vikings defense is a great defense, they're gonna be in trouble. And as much as I hate to say it, I think if the offensive line doesn't work today, they're gonna lose big.
Right.
They're gonna lose big.
TJ says that there's going to be a parade in Cleveland if they win today. Everyone gets free Bud Light if they win today.
I thought they had to go 2-0.
No, they had to win a game, and they get all those fridges in Cleveland get unlocked the second the Rams win a game.
The Browns
win a game. Yes.
Used to be the Cleveland Rams a long time ago.
Yeah, right. Dating ourselves here.
My high school football coach played for the Cleveland Rams.
Nice.
Charlie Too Good.
Nice.
How's that name, James? You like that?
Let's see here. Any other games that stand out to you this week that you're excited about?
Let me get back.
So while you look that up, I was listening to, it was the pregame because the game was rain delayed on Thursday night. And Tony Dungy, I don't know if it's because he's a homer or if he's still on the payroll or what, but Tony Dungy, they were talking about the division. They're talking about Atlanta's division. And last week, TJ, you, and myself all agreed that Tampa Bay could be the worst team in football.
I was right there with you, too.
As I said, you, TJ, and myself.
I didn't hear that you part.
Tony Dungy goes on record during this game, and they're talking about the NFC South. And they're talking about the Saints, how they loaded up with offensive weapons to help out with Drew Brees, and how the Falcons, regardless of how this game turns out, we're still going to be a contender in the South and all this other stuff. And Tony Dungy goes, well, you can't forget about Tampa Bay. They're going to be in the race, and they're going to make this division interesting, and I think they could pull off the division title this year. I nearly dropped the cup I was holding. He's got to be on payroll down there because there's no way, unless he hit his head or was frozen from the weather, there's no way that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, maybe he thought he was talking about like the Tampa Bay Lightning or something, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not going to contend for the NFC South.
No, not in this lifetime.
Maybe they were playing Madden before they went out there because of the rain delay.
Right.
And he was just like running the table with Tampa. But I was blown away by that take, and I meant to text you about it. I'm surprised TJ didn't text me about it. But to say that Tampa Bay is going to be a team that I really like what he also said he really likes what Jameis Winston brings to the table. And,
he's not there for the first 2 or 3 weeks.
yeah, so I don't know. Tony Dungy hit his head.
Yeah. The other game that I want to see is the Giants and the Panthers. I think that's going to be a great
I just want
game.
to see Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, well, I want to see that. I want to see the matchup of the Panthers DB and Odell Beckham Jr. The guy.
No, that's not the Panthers. That's you're talking Giants and Jaguars.
Giants and Jaguars. I'm sorry.
Wrong
Panthers.
cat.
Wrong cat.
Jalen Ramsey and Odell
right.
Beckham Jr. is going to be. That's going to be fun.
That is going to be a fun game, and I want to see Barkley. And
Hold on. James says Cleveland has a better chance to win the AFC than Tampa Bay winning anything. And TJ, you're right. Bochy chimed in on Dungy as well.
I say he's an idiot.
It's one of those things. Boch just had an opinion about everybody.
he was on fire. He can't run a baseball team right now, but
I'm not that mad about what Boch is doing. I'm more mad about the production. His players just aren't doing shit.
I don't want to start on that.
Well, I said no baseball talk, so
Okay. I think that the Jags Giants is going to be I got a sneeze coming, I think. Anyway, I know, right? I think that's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be fun to watch. The weather's going to suck, but
I still think whoever scheduled that first Monday night game is an idiot, by the way.
the first one or the second
The
one?
first one,
The Jets Lions?
and the Lions.
Ugh.
You know what that is? That guy was like, okay, well, I got to work that night, but I really want to watch the second game. So how can I get away with not being, or no, let me rephrase, not work. We're hosting a barbecue. We're hosting a Monday night party. Boss put me in charge of it. How do I make sure that the food and everything is prepared properly? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set the Lions and Jets up. That way nobody watches it. I can tend to the barbecue, get all the food ready. That way when the real Monday night game comes on, we're ready to go.
See, I got a different take on it. I think the whole Monday night schedule sucks.
Yeah,
Unless you're from the Bay Area, do you really care about the Raiders? Except for, John Gruden. So he's going to be the draw. But do you really care about the Raiders and the Rams?
But here's the deal. Why do you put the same week 1 preseason game together that you do on Monday Night Football? If you're going to put those two teams together on Monday Night Football, don't make them play in the preseason.
No.
You've already seen it. You've already seen the first team.
Well, no, you didn't see anything
No,
in that game.
but the thing is, you've already got the hype of the Gruden talk and against the the old coach versus the young coach. Like, they butchered that into the ground during that Monday Night Football game.
But they're gonna. It's funny that memories seem to go away when it comes to the first NFL game of the year, especially in that situation. It's going to be all over again. It's going to be the same thing. Well, now it's regular season. What can you do?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't need to hear it again.
Yeah, well, you're going to. And so my
Not
theory,
if I don't watch it.
my theory is the guy who does the schedule asked his wife if he could have a barbecue on week 1 of the NFL season, and she said no. He said, okay, so if I'm not going to have a barbecue, then I'm going to have 2 shitty games so I don't have to watch it.
Right. Yeah, I can have people over, then fuck you.
Right?
It's going to be rough. What do you think your biggest storyline of the week is going to be?
John Connor.
You think so?
I think so. I think
James Conner?
I thought it's John Connor.
It's does he really have the name of the dude from fucking really?
I think so.
All right, well, you explain why that is your take, and I'll find
Okay, it's John Connor. I'm almost positive. Because I think I think the pressure is on him.
James Conner.
Is it? I
Yes.
thought it was John. Okay. Anyway, the dude from Pittsburgh, Connor.
Right.
I think that the pressure's on, and I think that the Steelers' offensive line is going to be fired up to clear some holes so they can give a big FU to Bell. So I think the offensive line is going to come out. They're just going to blow people away. I think the weather's going to be perfect for them.
Roseanne Conner.
Yeah, Roseanne Conner. I think that it's just set up for him. If he can have a big game, it's going to be a great story. If he has a horrible game, it's going to be an even better story because then it's going to elevate all the Le'Veon Bell stories for him to come back. So I think to me that's the biggest storyline that I can see this week is Connor and how he does.
All right. Well, there you have it.
What about you? What do you think?
You mentioned I think it's gonna be Ramsey. John Connor's a Terminator. I think it's gonna be
I thought it was.
It's gonna be Ramsey and Beckham. Ramsey's all about the headlines. He wants to get in Beckham's head. Beckham has already come out and said, "I've grown up. I'm not gonna engage in this. You're not gonna get headlines out of me." I think that's gonna be a fun game to watch. It's gonna be one of those ones where you're like, okay, what's gonna happen? It reminds me a lot of who was it? It was TJ. You'll know Titans. Titans cornerback a couple years ago got into a fist fight on the field with the Raiders. Can't think of dude's name, but it's gonna remind me of that. Or I can even go back further than that. It's gonna be Andre Rison, Deion Sanders style drama where it could come to blows if they say the right thing or get under their head. Like it's gonna be one.
Who was it that ripped the guy's chain off his neck?
Oh, Akeem Talib and Michael Crabtree.
Yeah.
It could be any of those things. It could be one of those where it's like they're almost gonna have to do like a split camera. No, not Bernard Pollard. It's gonna have to be like a split camera. They're gonna have to have one camera on the game and one camera on that matchup every single time the game's going on. And I think that's gonna be fun. But I'm most excited, and it's the homer pick, but I'm most excited to see how the Minnesota-San Francisco game goes with the quarterback play.
I think that goes without saying.
If those two guys will live up to the hype. Cortland Finnegan. There you go. That's the name. Yeah. It's going to be one of those games where it's like, okay, what happens? What exactly goes on? I don't think other than that Monday Night Football game, I don't know that there's going to be a lot of dud games. I have Sunday Ticket again now, which I'm looking forward to it.
You got Big Ears for another year though.
Whatever, I got it for free.
I got rid of it.
I got it for free.
I got rid of Big Ears. And I got it for free.
Tennessee, yeah, but I only pay $40 a month for my cable. So
what are you getting cable for?
Huh?
Were you Dish?
DirecTV.
Direct? What do you just only have sports channels?
No, I have a full like 120 or 180 package.
How do you get it for $40?
Because I weasel into a $60 discount for the whole year for threatening to cancel and come back. And that's up in November. So guess who's going to get that deal again when I threaten to leave in November? This guy. Yeah, I called because I wanted just the Red Zone, and DirecTV doesn't offer just the Red Zone. They only offer Sunday Ticket and then Sunday Ticket Max, which is the Red Zone channel, and fantasy football. So I called and I was like, well, I can go to Dish Network. They'll give me just the Red Zone channel. And I was like, I need to talk to your cancellation people to find out, what I need to do to cancel. And right when they did that, the guy's like, well, it's your lucky day. I'll just go ahead and give it to you for free. And he goes, and your contract is up in November, so that $60 credit you have expires. So go ahead and just give us a call back in November, and we'll see what we can offer you to keep you. And I'm like, good. I've been with them since like 2014. Tennessee, Miami might have a chance of being a dud, but I think that one has a lot of intrigue with Mariota. I think Mariota has a big year. Buffalo, Baltimore has a chance to be a blowout. I think Buffalo just gets.
I think that game's going to be a dud.
I think Buffalo has a chance. They're either going to win the game or they're going to get murdered. It's not going to be. It's going to be like a close win or it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. The Saints and Tampa game probably going to suck, but really nothing other than that stands out as a dud.
Jets Lions.
Well, other than Jets Lions, but I'm not going to really give two fucks about that game. Are you doing DraftKings this year?
I hadn't.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to either.
I might. I got like $10 worth of credit. I might play that out.
Yeah, I don't think I have any credit, and the games are starting, so we can't set up a lineup anyway. So
the other game that I think is going to be just crap is Bengals Colts.
Yeah, that one. But then again, you get to see Andrew Luck play again, and that could be fun.
He's going to be on his back because they have shit for offensive linemen. So
possibly, it'll be good. But it is week 1. The season is kicking off now, and I think it's time for us to go get ready to watch some football. So
7 hours of nonstop football. Starts
win today or play next week for free if you accept this offer on DraftKings. Just so you know. With that being said, guys, week 1 is here. We're ready for it. It'll be exciting. Go ahead and Baltimore is my survivor pool pick. That's probably a safe pick.
I went Saints.
It won't let me choose my location. Anyways, with that being said, we will see you guys.
Did anybody else jump in our pick'em league?
Touchdown. Who already had a touchdown? No one else jumped in our pick'em league, I think, except for maybe TJ.
James, you didn't step in ours. You didn't go into our pick'em league.
If you guys want, or if you guys are in the pick'em league and you want to be, TJ did. James did not. If any of you guys want to jump in and send me your picks, I can manually upload them, and get them going for you guys. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna go watch some football. So Let's see if there's any updates real quick, since someone already said touchdown.
I think James is talking about Cortland Finnegan. TJ's remembering Cortland Finnegan.
Possibly. No, New Orleans already up 7-0 on the.
Sweet. Is that a kickoff return?
It might have been a kickoff return, but it's already. Damn, Tampa Bay is already terrible. What happened in that? We just lost connection. That's cool. There it is.
There you go.
Let's see. Kamara 5 yards for a touchdown.
Nice.
Ted Ginn 5-yard review. Damn, they just marched down the field. Neutral zone infraction. Yeah, they just marched the field. Drew Brees just ate them alive. Basically, what it comes down to. All right, guys, we will be back next week. Happy birthday to my wife. It's football day, and we'll see you guys next Sunday.
Night, Larry.
It won't let me end. It wants us to keep talking.